Hey, we're live again. Well, it's good to be back. Thank you very much to anybody who is watching this. I hope you're all well. Um, I've got lots of stuff going on my monitor in front of me, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly at you at the camera all the time. In previous live streams, I have talked about trying to find a happiness, trying to build a nice little world of happiness around us in a larger world and in a larger universe that's kind of crazy at times. Our world um, is not particularly harmonious a lot of the time. Um, so we can either live in continual upset and trauma at what's going on this planet around us, or we can choose to live in a space that we create for ourselves. It is a wonderful privilege to be alive. There's so many opportunities for enjoying uh, a satisfying and very pleasurable existence on this planet. Um, and what I'm not suggesting is that we stick our heads in the sand and that we ignore all of the bigger pictures, the problems facing us on this planet all around us. We can definitely try and combat those bigger problems and solve those bigger problems. But it's nice to be able to retreat every once in a while into a nice little world that you create for yourselves. And that helps to keep us safe and healthy. And today I'm just going to give some quick examples of ways that you can make your little world that you make around yourself a nice, loving, caring, kind, compassionate place to be. Um, it's probably not hard for you to think about what makes you happy in life and to bring those happinesses into you, whether it's eating good food or listening to good music or watching good TV or being in the presence of good people. Um, and I just encourage people to think, well, what are you missing in your life? And whatever you're missing, see if you can think of ways of bringing that into your little world. One possible route into that would be for you to do a little bit of research into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow was a psychologist who was very in tune with the different needs of people on psychological level. We have evolved to need certain things. And there is a sort of a hierarchy, like a pyramid structure of things that you could you can look up online and you start at the bottom and you work your way up to see which needs you have and which you're missing. And if you're missing any, identify those and don't sit around waiting for them to find you. Go out and find those needs. The needs start off very basic. They're physiological needs like food and water and warmth and rest. And it's a little bit hard to build up on getting your other needs unless you have those first physiological needs in place first. So set about making sure you do have enough food, enough water, enough warmth, enough rest. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people get all of those needs, but in a very unhealthy ways. And that makes the whole pyramid of needs unstable. So, for example, food, eat healthy food. Go out and watch the documentary, What the Health, and learn about what real food is and healthy food isn't. Water, tap water or faucet water often isn't so great. Often contains heavy elements and chemicals that are put in there to try to kill stuff like germs and bacteria, and that's fine, but those chemicals may not always be healthy for you to drink as well. So See if you can figure out ways of getting distilled water, drinking distilled water, either that you buy in a shop or that you distill yourself, which is a pretty useful skill to have. Keeping warm, getting enough rest. That's not getting enough rest is one of the most common health issues that faces us as humans, and you will know what you need to do to combat that. And then building on top of that, safety needs, staying safe, staying secure. I guess don't do things that are not safe. But then on top of that, we get to higher level needs like um, belonging needs, love needs, friendship needs, relationship, friendship needs. All of those things are important to us, and they are needs for our psychological well-being. Um, when COVID happened and people retreated somewhat into their homes and started uh, relying more on social media connections, building friends online, connecting with people in Zoom meetings. I was one of the first people out there hosting group Zoom meetings and inviting people in. And that's great and that's good. And I still do all of those things. But there is no substitute for meeting people in person, because for hundreds of thousands of years, that's what we've had: in-person connections with real people, where you can look them in the face, where you can give them a hug when you meet each other, and where you can really experience life and living together. If you're not getting that, I encourage you to get that, to go out and look for it. Then building on top of that come things like esteem needs, feeling like you belong somewhere, feeling like you like yourself. And if you don't like yourself, do something about that. Find the things about yourself that you don't like and do something about those things. Um, and find somewhere where you do feel like you belong. Now that's harder. It becomes harder to feel like you belong somewhere when you have not crafted your own self into something that is nice and cooperative and will get along with others. If you're not a moral person, the more moral you are, the easier it is to find a place where you truly belong. Um, I like to think that I have a few places where I feel like I belong. I have special people that I connect with, and I think at times in my life when I have said or done things that are not moral in any kind of friendship or relationship, it has jeopardized those relationships. It's common sense. So work on yourself first, and that helps you to grow really strong relationships with others. Right at the top of the pyramid of needs is something called self-actualization. That is where we ourselves become uh, actually the best that we can be. We can actualize our full potential. That includes things like creative needs, but who we are as a person on the inside, our morality, um, our relationship with the universe, with the world, and with others. So I encourage people to consider uh, how you can get to those higher level things. Now, if you're not eating well, which is right at the bottom of the pyramid, or if you're not sleeping well, it's very hard to get those things at the top. But you can still sort of try to aim for higher things, even when you're missing some of your lower needs. It's like building a real pyramid. If you're missing one or two bricks from the bottom, the pyramids can still stand. But if you're missing whole big areas and volumes of stone blocks anywhere in there, it's harder to build a pyramid higher. So those are my little pieces of advice. Those are fairly generalized. I will tell you specifically one or two of the things that I do to create a nice, a warm, loving space around me. And yes, I do all the things that I've mentioned, but also one or two other things you can do. I'm going to talk about one or two specifics. Find somewhere that doesn't rely on other people, because people are not always reliable. and we're not always with others. Find 1 or 2 things that make you feel safe and secure and comfortable. And I like, um, Star Trek: The Next Generation, because that team of people, the bridge crew there, they're ascended, caring people who care about each other, who work well together in a cooperative manner, and it's just a nice environment to be in. And the whole show is about ethics and morality and asking some hard questions, and digging deep into that subject. And to watch that show is to be with people who are loving and caring, who always try to do the right thing, and by and large do the right thing all the time. So that's one thing I recommend. I grew up watching The Waltons. It's kind of old now, but you know, John Boy Walton and his family, and they're the same. They try to really get along with others. They've got high moral standards, and their whole family is like that. And they don't always succeed, but they try. And there are good moral stories and issues that are in that TV show. So I recommend watching that, The Waltons. And one thing about The Waltons is it's not, because it's not modern, it really takes people to a place that is more accessible, that we've grown up with over the course of our that humanity has had over the course of its hundreds of thousands of years on this planet. So yeah, those are some of my recommendations. If you have other entertainers like musicians that you really love their music, if there's a song that touches you, that makes you feel like you're at one with something special, then that I recommend. If you like reading, my recommended books, series of books would be Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. If you were to read the Foundation book, then you will find within that book a very close representation in science fiction of what's happening to us right now on this planet, with something big collapsing and something strong and beautiful rising out of it. Those are just my little suggestions for this evening. I hope you're all well. I hope you have a nice evening, morning, afternoon, whichever part of the country that you are in. I would like to, yeah, wish you all well, and I look forward to seeing you some other time. And it's only now that I've just realized I don't have my regular light on my face, so I apologize if I appear a bit dark. Okay, take care, everybody. Goodbye.